Starting. Welcome to Lunch and Learn. Yeah. We need a jingle. All right. Welcome everybody to the Lunch and Learn. My name is Jared. I am a technical trainer on the training team, and I am here helping you guys out with any questions that you may have concerning decisions. Feel free to type them in the chat. Feel free to send them somewhere here so that I can read them and answer them. So welcome. Now, we do have a couple of pre-submitted questions, one of which is over. Let me pop up my notes here real quick. Awesome. Let's see, I'm also going to open up the QA part, so I got to have a look at that. All right, first question we have is, we have a client has QA and UAT environments that we don't have access to. We do the development, and when it's ready for testing, we inform them. Client is asking for best practices recommendations on how to push developed items to their repository QA and UAT. So best practices. So this will be highly customizable to what they want to do. Typically, what we do here at Decisions is whenever you have something that you're ready to test and you have a new feature, like let's say I have a form that has a validation that I just added, and I want to push that into my repo, and so that the QA and UAT servers can then download it and then test that feature. Typically, what I would do is in that commit section, when you commit something that is in a repository, I would say, hey, added a new validation on the form to test to perform X, Y, and Z exercise. And maybe have some tiny instructions in the directions in the commit section when you're uploading the repository, but it'd be very project specific. So whatever the feature is you designed, give a little bit of instruction or detail of what that is and how the UAT should test it, or what it is. So that's my recommendation. It's very much specific to what the thing is that you developed, and then have them download that into their UAT and QA environments. Feel free to, feel free to come off mute if there's something that you want clarified from that, but that's my suggestion.
Yes, Jared, thank you so much. What you described is really helpful. I would also like to ask about a topic that I found in the students forum, and I found a useful answer as well, but it's from July 2020, and I was kind of concerned, is it still applicable to the versions of decisions today or not? Would you like me to give you the topic title or any information about that particular thread? It's just a question and an answer.
Yeah, so it was, I think it's decision document, I think forum, I think is what it's called. No, clearly a hot dog is not a sandwich. I do not have this. Hold on a second. I think I know where it's at. I want to try one more time, and if not, then I'll have you. Ha! All right, what's the title?
So the title is Questions on Repo Branch.
Perfect. 1 hour ago. Is it like
that's my reply to it.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I was gonna like compliment you on your talent for like seeing. It's kind of like when you go to YouTube video and it's like it's been uploaded for 5 seconds and you're like the first viewer. I'm like, man, you deserve an award.
Yeah, so this was July when Cameron. Well, to be honest, I checked Cameron and the last login date was somewhere in May 2022. So I'm not sure that he's even available to answer my question in the same thread, but yeah.
Gotcha. So let's read this together. So Cameron's suggestion is, you see, really interested. So most use an agile software development light cycle methodology, create new branches for each sprint and push that branch to prod once fully qualified. Here's another webinar on version control. Branches allow users to create separate instances of project. Yep, that's true. We could have a separate branch reflecting cycles, check and changes. New branch. Two only can only decisions accounts that are part of the administrator group create branches. Other groups like designer or repository users are able to create branches. However, all users of the group. I gotcha. Yes. That is still the best practice for pushing things into QA and UAT. So you have a new feature, create a branch, develop on that feature. If you like it, then merge it into trunk. So that is still the best practice. I do know in future versions of decisions, I think in version 9, we're going to have some cool features coming out for the repo because that's under construction. So the paradigm will still be the same here. That will still be the recommended way, but there'll be cool like a built-in like check-ins or approvers for different features and stuff like that. Currently in our current repo, we don't have that capability. You can kind of do it if you use some action visibility rules on your specific dev server. But in reality, while that does help permit only certain users from checking in and checking out certain things, it doesn't really have an approver type of function that's being discussed internally here for version 9, let's say. But going back to the question, yes, this is still the current recommended way to do UAT and QA testing.
Awesome. Yeah, I think this is all what I need. Very, very helpful. Thank you so much.
Awesome. My pleasure. Another question, is there a best practice for Power BI to consume data from decisions DB except direct DB connection? I don't think there's really a best practice for Power BI consumption in decisions. It's just leveraging the open API capabilities of decisions and pulling that information. So I wouldn't say there's really a best way, but there's just whatever the technical implications of those avenues of getting data over an API or post call and then doing it direct from a DB, but no current like best practices for it. Any other questions? Oh my gosh, I can't talk. Everyone excited about Decisions Days next week? Marriott, come register now, collab. You'll get to see a lot of the people that host the Lunch and Learns. That's gonna be a fun time. Do we have the website connection for that? It's the website for it. I think it's like, decisions. Yay, William, you are amazing. Yes, so there's the link in the chat if we can expose that. I think, am I able to expose that to the attendees? Let's see if I can do that. Hey, thanks guys. So yes, that is the link to register for Decisions Days. It's gonna happen next week. We got some really cool topics that we will be discussing there, and it's gonna be really fun. What is going to be on tomorrow's webinar and why is it called CTF? Tomorrow's webinar. Let's see. Let me look at the webinar list for tomorrow. Decisions.com. Let's look at, we got the webinars, financial services. Yeah. I got you. I'm looking at company about us, partners, resources, overview, partners, company, platform. Where is it? It should be probably under events. I don't see it. Anybody got any of my decisions team know where the link is for information on that webinar tomorrow? Was it on LinkedIn? Maybe I can find it there. Because the short answer is I don't know, but I can find out real quick. Thank you. Capture the flag, optimizing decisions usage data. William Clemens with the information. So basically what that's going to be is ways to optimize the decisions usage. So I don't know specifically what's going to be inside of it, but a couple ways that I'm probably going to speculate is maybe performance, how to make your applications more performant. how to design ways to think of that. So like if you're getting things from data source and you have to do a lot of filtering and you're going to be running billions upon billions about things in the stuff in there. So I think it might be stuff that covers over that, things over that. Oh, cool. And we'll also be doing in that, we'll also be showing off some new App Store stuff. So we do have an entire team here dedicated in Decisions where what we do is they build kind of use case projects that are applicable and are relatively full-fledged applications that you can utilize. They come with a document on a doc site that you can use, how you can learn how to use them. And tomorrow looks like they'll also be talking about that as well. So the flag is a flaw in the flow. Flaw in the flow. I guess so. Maybe. Could be. Any other questions? So I know was a next week decision days is going to be really cool. We're going to have a lot of different lectures. Let's see. We're going to be having partners there. Let me look at this. Let me go back to this. Yep, there's going to be different speakers from different customers of ours and partners of ours. They're going to talk about how they use decisions. You're also going to hear some cool topics discussed by Gordon Jones, our Chief Operating Officer, and Heath Oderman, our Chief Technical Officer, also one of the co-founders of Decisions. And then also William Pedersen will also have some lectures as well, and he's the VP of our customer experience. We also do have foundation training too as well. So the cool thing about attending this foundation training, if any of you guys have colleagues or are curious about it, what you can do about that is you can send some of your colleagues to this foundations class, and once they take this foundation class, they will automatically complete product training. So product training is the first learning course in decisions training, and once they go there, they'll be done with that. Let's see, we got another question. So is there a chat GPT module presentation? Will be only APIs? Why to create a separate module for it? We're still ironing out the details of that. I think we'll be demonstrating ingesting API calling it. There's going to be more details that our dev team's working on to have a full-fledged module for it. So it won't be about over that specifically, but just about, hey, here's where decisions in the future is going and thinking about. So it's a lot more of future thinking and conceptualizing what the involvement of using things like a chat GPT module or things like that or AI into decisions. But we won't be demonstrating a full-fledged module. We're still ironing out the details and stuff. So the best way to find out is to come and attend the event, and you may be surprised at what we demonstrate. Any other comments or questions? Let's see, would you record some lectures and presentations of the event? That I'm not sure. If I were to guess, I believe we probably will have some type of recording, but I will need to follow up with my event coordinator on that. So I'm going to send him a message right now, and we'll see if those things will be recorded. I don't think we do. Well, I don't know. I'm just gonna ask him. Any other comments, questions? Alrighty. I'll still be on the call. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to put them in the chat or feel free to drop off if you like, but I'm still going to stay on the call for a bit and answer any questions if you guys think of any. And I'll just type them in there and we'll get them answered. I just got word. So a question about if those lectures will be recorded after the event. They will. I believe once we have recorded all of those lectures and all of those classes, they'll probably be uploaded, I'm going to presume, our decisions website so that they can be consumed for a larger audience to learn all the things that were taught at that event. Is there an easy way to rerun a flow that is running on step run on a scheduled lob, let's say every X business days? To rerun a flow that is running on step run on a schedule, let's say every X business days? Not that I know of. I actually don't know. I would feel like the best way to handle that is probably just create a scheduled job and then run it on a business day. And then with that, you can control and say, hey, rerun on fail. And that'd probably be the better way to handle that design pattern. Any other questions? That will make us run that scheduled job every day and filter the assignments. That will make us run. Yeah, I mean, you can definitely do that. You can create a scheduled job that fetches all the necessary assignments that need to be run for a given day, and then it just has a Boolean type that says run the flow or not run the flow, or attach a rule that on the true path runs it, on the false path it doesn't. So you can easily do that. You can probably fetch the assignments table and find if there's any escalation dates or things configured that way. So yeah, you can do that. So I see probably how I would see this design pattern looking is I would create a scheduled job. The scheduled job probably have like a fetch entity step to fetch assignments for a given, for a given folder or for a given user or group or whatever the case may be. Fetch that group and then determine based on what is the escalation date or the filter date or whatever you have as a property there, and evaluate that data and then say, okay, we're going to go run this one because today is the escalated date or what have you. You can also do that actually in the assignment escalation flow of that particular assignment. So you don't need to create a scheduled job flow. You can do it that way as well. What are the best practices to move permissions to different environments? Probably adding them to the project. So like have specific groups, because you have to have those accounts and groups tied to that project, and then those should carry over. So I'd probably say just add them to the project, or if not, yeah, I would say just add them to the project. But account IDs and group IDs will be different. Let's see, I don't know. Let me find the project. I can see and find out. Any best practices on moving? I'll ask in the support chat. Because I don't, if you export that specific group, then the ID should not be different because you're basically taking that entire deck object of that specific thing, because all account and group is an entity. So if you import that new environment, it should have the same. Or you just can't move accounts, which makes sense because that'd be a security thing. So the best thing would be adding the group would be the best practice. Yeah, so that's why you can't do accounts. So that's why you really can't move an account, right? Because if I want to like steal someone's, account, I can move it over. But what you can do is you can still add the group to the project and then carry that over, and then that would be okay. Because the groups aren't going to keep the accounts. It's just going to be that group that gets carried over, and then you'd have to add the accounts that need to be in that group. I know in newer versions of decisions there will be like in version 9, they're talking about a different way to do this, where it will be a lot easier to attach accounts and groups to projects. But currently this is the way to do it. You can't move the account, but you can add the group to the project. And when you import that project into another environment, you'll have that group carried over. It just won't have any of the accounts into it. And you'll have to manually add those accounts. All right. We're going to go ahead and call it for today. Thank you so much for attending the decision luncheon. Oh, wait, we got a question. Let me answer this one. Yep, moving groups and permissions is okay. All right, I'm gonna call it there, folks. Tomorrow we're gonna have another lunch and learn. This will be hosted by Ashley Wilson with our pre-sales engineering team. Also, I want to reiterate, next week we do have decisions days, so register, sign up, attend there if possible, because it's going to be a really cool and a great event. Or they will be recorded, so if you can't because of your schedule or your work, you can go ahead and join. You can go ahead then and watch those videos and resources after the fact, but the event will still be great, so I'd advise coming to it. All right, everybody, have a great day.